Welcome back. Joining me now is Kristen Welker from the NBC's Meet the Press. Kristen, good morning.
Hi, Christy. Good morning to you.
Let's get right into it. Starting on the campaign trail, Nikki Haley losing another contest to former President Donald Trump, this time in her home state of South Carolina, where she used to be governor. But she is still in the race. Kristen, is there a way forward for Haley to get the Republican nomination at this point?
Well, the reality check, Christy, is that Haley's path is narrow at best. She is making the case that in a general election, she does better against Biden than Trump does. But where can she win? That's the question. She is looking towards Michigan, which votes on Tuesday. This is an open primary state. That means voters of any party affiliation can vote for the candidate of their choosing. Her campaign argues that on Super Tuesday, on March 5th, 11 of the 16 states that vote that day are open or semi-open primaries. But again, the question is, can she win? Can she pick off a Virginia or Minnesota or Massachusetts? That remains to be seen. And would it be enough to even come close to catching up to former President Trump, who right now is really raking up the delegates? So that's where it becomes very complicated. As long as her donors stand by her, though, Christy, I think she stays in this race. But the question, what are the implications if she does have aspirations to run in 2028? Is she alienating some Republican voters with this strategy? Now, taking a step back, former President Trump incredibly eager to pivot to the general election. We saw that in his messaging overnight in South Carolina, saying he wishes that the election date could actually be moved up. Of course, that's not going to happen, but I have been talking to aides and allies of his who say he really needs to pivot his strategy to the general election, to talk less about his grievances and more about the issues at hand. He has never really been one to follow the conventional advice of advisors, so I wouldn't hold your breath that we're actually going to see that play out on the campaign trail, but at least that's what folks are telling him. Christy.
All right, good insight. Kristen, this week, the Alabama Supreme Court ruled that frozen embryos are children, and this ruling has left some fertility clinics in a state of limbo. Some political leaders not agreeing with that ruling. California's Governor Gavin Newsom joined you today on the show. What has his response been?
He has called this a part of a broader war on women, Christy, and I think you're going to hear that type of language from Democrats who are taking this issue and trying to energize and galvanize their supporters around it. Vice President Kamala Harris was talking about this issue as well in similar language. Now, here's what's notable. You have former President Donald Trump coming out and saying he opposes the Alabama decision. He's the one who put the 3 Supreme Court conservative justices on the bench who made overturning Roe v. Wade possible. But now he's saying that lawmakers in Alabama need to find a way to actually protect IVF services. That is because if you look at the polls, it's not even close. The vast majority of Americans support having access to IVF services. I've been doing a lot of reporting on this, and the big takeaway is everyone knows someone who's been impacted by IVF. So the politics of this very tricky for Republicans. I'll be talking to Congressman Byron Donalds, a big Trump supporter, about this issue as well, coming up on the program, Christy.
All right, we'll be watching. Kristen, thanks so much. Meet the Press airs at 10, right after 11 Alive Weekend Morning News.